All right. We have the pleasure today of having a legend on here, a mogul with us, and that is Master P. He will be featured in this episode of Uncensored that will be airing March 10th at 10 p.m. So, welcome to the Undressing Room podcast, Master P.
Hey,
Yes, how you guys doing? I'm glad to be here.
It's like natural
welcome,
that initially
welcome.
you always want to say,
Yeah,
It never gets old. Maybe for you it might get old, but to me that'll never get old.
nah, it's
Oh,
good. It's
never.
nothing but and I just salute to all my fans out there. I appreciate you guys.
So, what made you decide to open up for this uncensored episode? We're so excited to see you on this and to open up because you are such an inspiration to so many people, especially in this industry. So, what made you want to tell your story?
Just being able to have TvOne open their doors for me, and I want people to know that my life never was perfect. I've been through a lot of trials and tribulations, and God has just opened up so many doors for me and my family. And when you do right, blessings will come. And I want to show people that you could come from nothing. It's like being a lion. It's like what I have on this soldier snack hoodie. You know, the lion is the king of the jungle. He's not the biggest animal in the jungle, but he know how to learn. He realized that whatever he see out there is food to him. And so it's the mindset. When you think a certain way, you have to know that we all are lions out there. And
Yeah,
a sheep can't lead lions, but a lion can lead sheep. And I think that once you figure that out and you get that mindset, I want to show that, you know, kids that come from all types of walks of life to be like, you know what, you don't have to live a perfect life, but if you change, you grow up, you do better, that God will bless you. And I think that's what my story is about, and be able to share that is just a blessing.
absolutely. So, the theme of this episode for Uncensored is centered around the dynamics of coming into manhood, basically,
Yeah,
and highly publicized music, the personal breakup, tragic loss,
yeah,
family, friends. I mean, you're not shy to the media. We
yeah,
know some facts, some rumors, all of that stuff, and creating rebirths amidst, the craziness of what this career could be in entertainment. So, talk about just the staying power that you have had. I mean, we remember Little Wayne with a fishnet a white beater on back in the day, and
yeah,
now you have
yeah.
your hoodie on, you have your products, you are in the marketplace. Talk to us about the staying power of Master P.
Well, you know, it's all about sustainability. And like I said, when you do the right thing and you work hard, and you have confidence, it's like playing sports. Creating a business, realizing that life is more than just talent, and using your God-given talent. And I think when you do that, and you're able to open up doors for other people, so it's not just about me. Being able to create brands outside of music industry, and being able to spend time with your family and have your kids. Like my sons are great
Yeah.
basketball players. That
Yes.
spend time. You can't get time back, but you can get money back, and to be able to be with Romeo and all my kids, and it's just a blessing to watch them grow and blossom, and to know that I have a lifetime commitment as a father. So no matter what you go through, just like you say, whether you go through breakups or whatever, like you have to be able to be a great parent. And I've been able to do that and learn from my kids at the same time, and to build generational
Mm,
wealth. Because with all the product I have, I want to show you guys
let's
soldier
see.
snacks, soldier snacks, to be able to have a brand that my grandfather was the one that first gave me the money to start my record company, and
Mm.
to be able to, this brand is built on him, Claudia Miller, and it's all about giving back to those soldiers that lost their lives, to their families and kids. So building a brand that has integrity, and being able to help our people and guide our people and grow and come from hip hop. I mean, hip hop has come a long way, and I want to show people how we can grow up, because right now we are dying young. And so giving our culture that blueprint to say, you know what, let's build economic empowerment, but we got to do the right thing. So we was able to take over the Super Bowl, and now I'm taking over the grocery stores and being able to build a business
Yes.
with my family. Because when you look at this product and stuff, I want to show you guys, we got to be able to read and educate. This is my new book. It's called Never Go Broke, and it's all about
Okay.
education. So people think that it's about money. Now, knowledge and wisdom is the key to success. And so I think that's have been my strengths, to keep educating myself, keep learning, keep getting better. You're gonna feel through this process, but the way you get up, life is a marathon. It's like we talk about Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey Hussle blew up once he passed, and people don't realize that this guy was so talented while he was alive. But our culture, we wait till something happened till then we get behind, you know, artists and stuff like that, which is sad. But you know, we have to keep fighting. We have to keep going. We have to keep building. We have to keep growing. So that's what my life is about, and giving that blueprint to the next generation. I'm all about the kids, and I think that's the part that keeps me going. And I'm not finished. I'm just beginning.
You just begin. You've been doing it for a minute, but you have just beginning. Now, I want to talk about the way you came up, because a lot of times, you know, who we are today is very indicative of those that reared us and the shoulders we stand on top of. And I learned that you were raised with your grandparents.
Yes.
And 16 other people in the house. Was it 16 other kids? Was it like aunts and uncles? Talk to me about how you were brought up.
Yeah, no, I was brought up in a big family. I was raised by my grandparents, Big Dad and Big Mama. And my grandfather was he was a baker, he was a cook. He fought in the army, and he cooked for the soldiers. And he gave me that love and that passion. And that's where the whole No Limit come from, the whole camouflage stuff come from. And now to be able to have soldier snacks and have the loud camouflage, I mean, it's all because of him, Claude Miller. And he raised us on integrity. That's the most important thing. We didn't have money, but we had integrity. We had to do the right thing. At least he raised us and taught us the right thing, and education was so important. And I think that's what kind of molded me, knowing that even though you don't have all the things you want in life, be thankful for just the small things, like having a roof over your head. Even though I lived in a project and we lived in poverty, but I had the mindset of like, oh, I'm in a mansion. One day I will get to that mansion. So don't think negativity. So I just love my grandfather and my grandmother for giving me those values, sending me to, a Catholic school with their last money from their Social Security checks. And it just showed me a lot, because when you know who God is, then because you have to, once you know who God is, you know that you're doing something for a bigger cause. And that's what I feel about my life, that even when people count me out, when you put your trust and faith in that man up above, you won't lose.
You better talk about it. Yeah. Now, you came up in one of the toughest projects in New Orleans, but you had a hoop dream. You had a dream, a plan, and you had skills. Word on the curve is you got a scholarship to the University of Houston.
Yeah.
So now, talk to me about that being your outlet, about how basketball assisted you growing up.
Yeah, basketball was my life. I grew up playing basketball, playing in high school, going to college, and just making those sacrifices. I tell people all the time, basketball is just a sport. The more you put into it, the more you're going to get out. You can't cheat the game. It's a physical game. And I just played basketball all the time. It kept me out of trouble. When things was going on in the hood, I was playing basketball. And back in the days, a lot of the OGs, they looked out for the people that had talent in the community. And I was just known as a basketball player. So I feel like basketball took me around the world. It was able to show me different things. And as a kid, once you're able to see other things besides the ghetto, then you start striving for other things. And I think that's what basketball done for me.
And it also has done things for your sons, and Hersey is one of them. You recently took him, or he came out of Tennessee State University. He had an injury. And I know that a big thing and a big part of you was that you wanted to put the light and shine a light on the HBCUs. You've always done a lot for our community, for the Black community. But you did say they lacked a medical team that was good enough to be able to help him through his injury. But you didn't blame them for that, because it's the fact that, so what can we do? Because even with you, you and your son helping out the HBCU by him going there and shining a light, it's still things that need to be done. What do
Yeah.
you think are the next steps to try to help out some of our schools?
Well, we gotta talk about it. We gotta communicate, and we have to have a plan of action. I love HBCUs. I sent my son there, but it's a lot of lack of resources, and we don't like to talk about it because our family members went there, and this has been going on for hundreds of years. So this has been over 100 years that we don't have the best facilities, and we don't have the right medical teams to help our kids. Even in the educational side, when you look at what's happening at Howard in the dormitories and stuff like that, this is happening all over the world, but we're afraid to talk about it because we love our schools, our HBCUs so much. But how do we do that? My whole thing is this will bring attention to the government to put money back into these communities. Even losing a student like Hersey is gonna shine that light to say, and Hersey loved HBCU. I mean, he the one who picked to go
It's
there.
hard not to.
Yeah, and you know what? The crazy thing about it is, me as a parent, I'm in a better situation to where I was able to make sure I do the right thing for my son. I'm going to do the right thing for my son as a parent. And I think a lot of other parents can't do that, so they can't make those moves. But it's all about bettering ourselves. And we talk about this too, even with Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders is at Jackson State, which this is incredible. He's bringing so much attention. But at the same time, they're not going to give him the budgets he needs to create that. Because think about it, he put that team in the playoffs, and he only got $1 million budget for his team. And these teams that haven't made as far as him, they football program got $40 million a year.
Exactly.
And we have to change that narrative. So we have to talk about it. We have to educate our culture and show, and not be afraid to talk about this in love. That the problems that we are having, even at Tennessee State, they owe Tennessee State $500 million. The government owed them that, and they still fighting for it. How can you fight when you got all these other universities that has their facilities together? And what I had to look at though, as a parent, this situation is not going to be fixed in the next 4 years. So my son had got hurt. I said, you know what? I got to take him out because they're not going to get this money in the next 4 to 5 years. They've been waiting on this money for 10 years. They're not going to be able to fix the school, fix everything that need to be done, the lack of resources that we have over there. And what I'm going to do is I'm still going to fight. I'm still going to get out there and visit HBCUs all across the U.S., but also sit down and have committees sit down and talk to younger people and say, what are the problems? Let's not put us down, but we have to figure out how to fix this, because our ancestors couldn't figure this out because they was just happy to be in schools. Now with the power of technology, you have African American kids that know how to make apps, know how to make changes, know how to make money. We have to let them do this for our schools. And when you look at Elon Musk, he created PayPal in college. So we have talented youngsters that even the older people, we have to sit down and listen to them if we're going to change with this technology game to be able to put money back into our schools and our community. So we need to revamp our dormitories. I mean, the living arrangements need to be better. There's a lot of things that need, but it's so much great things. You got to imagine that the characters that we have built with, dealing with these situations. I mean, us as African Americans, we work 10 times as hard under these conditions and strive. Think about it. We have more African American, we have more women graduate from African American schools than any other universities in the world. And we should be at the top of the Fortune 500 companies. Think about it. If that many Black women graduate from HBCU, and we only make up a tenth of 1% in the Fortune 500 companies. That's embarrassing. Like, we have to change that narrative. So we're going to school, we graduate.
Absolutely.
They're giving us entry-level jobs. We have to change that narrative. Like, we need to be CEOs of these companies. And that's why we are creating brands to be able to do that and communicate with each other. But as parents, we got to do what's right for our kids. And that's what I'm doing for my kids until we get it together.
And you changed your narrative because you came from one of the most violent projects
Yes.
and period. And you decided to start this record label, even though you had this talent of basketball. You already just knew that you was going to be something in life. How did you even get that thought to say, let me take these circumstances that I have and turn them into music, turn them into a record label, and not just put myself on, but I'm gonna put everybody else on and put them in position to be bosses as well?
Yeah, you know what? Not settle for whatever life gives you. And we talked about that earlier about being a lion. I mean, a lion is not bigger than a giraffe, it's not bigger than an elephant, but the lion is the most feared animal in the jungle because of his mindset. So we have to change our mindset. When I start changing my mindset, saying that I just need to keep learning, I need to keep growing, I need to keep getting better. I think that's when I realized that I'm going to make it out of here. Like, I'm not going to let my conditions stop me. I live with my grandparents, and my grandmother and grandfather had 12 kids. So I was the last one to eat, but I was the happiest one because I was just thankful for what I have. And I think that's the mindset we have to have, instead of worrying about what somebody else have. I don't have this. Let's just be thankful for the little things. I was just thankful, like, I got a roof over my head. Now, if my parents can't change this, I need to get out there and go work hard, and I'm going to change this. And I think, instead of having a negative attitude and oh, I'm gonna go get into drugs, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do all this crazy stuff, I'm saying, you know what? Let me figure out how I can put something positive in my life and get into the music industry and be able to tell my story and be able to help other people. So I just think that I was a man on a mission, and I knew that if I kept going, that one day I could make it. I know it wasn't going to happen overnight, and I wasn't expecting it to happen overnight. But I think so people say, P, how did you make it? I say, well, I wanted to be successful as more than I wanted to breathe. And I think that's the difference.
And you was like one of the only people to buck at Suge Knight around that time that had you gain a lot of respect, because at that time people were scared of Suge, and you came in and was like, okay, he a human being just like me.
Yeah, you know what? And growing up in the project, it made me tough. It made me understand, but I never really wanted to put another man down. So I never looked down on Suge. I kind of I looked at what he's done and said, I looked at Rap A Lot Records. I looked at, because I got a lot of game from Lil J. But when I looked at Suge, I just looked at him as another human being and said, if we're going to do business, let's do business. I feel like it's enough for all of us. So we don't need to be talking down on each other. You look at Rodale Drive, they got so many clothing stores on that corner. They're all selling the same thing. So my thing is, to the black man, how can we do business? And that's what I was able to do. And I never talk down on him. I never will. I'm thankful for the opportunities that I was able to get, and to be able to get Snoop and help Snoop take his career to the next level. And I just think that we are misunderstood. They always look at us to go against each other. So, but what about all these other record companies? What about the white guys that run these companies? I don't see they put them against each other, call it a beef or whatever. They always look at us just because we two black men, or we come from certain parts of the community, and they turn it into something negative. But my thing was able to look at Suge and say, bro, I'm bigger than that. I just want to do business. You keep it 100 with me, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. And I think that's just the way it should be. And I'm thankful for the doors this guy was able to open, and then me able to have integrity and say, I want to go to another level. It's not about money. Like, I don't work for money. I don't use people. Money is a tool for me. So I just think I've been be able to see that, because a lot of people don't understand that once they get money, they get that power to where, they want people to fear them. And I'm like, man, I don't fear nobody but God. And I respect every man that come in front of me that respect me. And I expect that same respect back. So, I mean, even this man going through what he's going through, I pray for him. I hope that God touches his soul to be able to say, man, it's about doing right. Let's help these kids. Even if I'm not in a better situation, how can I help the next generation and let them see my story and my past and the things that I did right and the things that I did wrong? I don't want them to follow those paths. So that's why I'm pushing so forward at the next generation. They can look at all our lives and say, okay, if you do this, then you could last longer. You'll be able to be free,
Yeah.
to live. And if you do this, this happen, you'll kill, you'll die younger and all this stuff. So I think showing these examples to these kids, and they have to have those choices to pick, because, you know, I didn't want to grow up in a project. That's just where my family was at. So now I have to make those changes, and we have to be able to get along. I feel like hip hop is dying young now, and it's because a lot of the older guys that came before it not giving the kids the right information, and that's what I'm trying to do: get them a blueprint on living. Let hip hop live, and let's show them how we could come together in peace and move on.
You are definitely laying out the blueprint, and you do it in not just how you speak, but you do it in what you do, in your representation. You know, that was a very admirable time in the hip hop era. It was no violence, and it was really just grown men bossing up and showing how you can deal with your issues in a way that allows us all to succeed. And so I'm beyond excited to watch Uncensored. It airs this Sunday, 10 a.m. TvOne. We all in your life, things we didn't know anything about, things we wanted elaborated on. We get to catch it this Sunday at 10. I am so excited, Master P. Thank you for stopping by and getting undressed with us.
And we got to tell you congratulations, because you're a grandpa.
Hey!
Grandpa P.
Romeo got a beautiful daughter. Romeo got a beautiful daughter, and I'm proud of him. He did it right. And I'm proud of him and his family. So we're definitely building generational wealth, and we have another blessing to our family.
Oh, yay. Okay, can't wait to see Uncensored this Sunday.
Yes.
Yes, it's
Thank
going
you so
down.
much.
Thank you for hanging out with us.
Thank you, guys.